I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love. Love, 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 love. I choose it, love, 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 love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace, peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace, and I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I feel it, peace, peace, peace. I choose peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with start my day with love. I start my day with peace, and I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love. I start my day. Brave faith, let us love, let us live each day with brave faith, brave faith. It's a busy place out there, complicated world we share, working with no guarantees. I believe that what we need is brave faith, brave faith. Let us love, let us live each day with brave faith. brave faith. Sometimes we are slow to trust, wisdom hidden deep in us. Fear of failure keeps us down. What we all could use right now is brave faith. Brave faith. Let us love, let us live each day with brave faith. Brave faith. Someday we can look back at turning points along our path. That's when we will point with pride to every good choice, guided by brave faith. Brave faith. Let us love, let us live each day with brave faith. Brave faith. Brave faith. Brave faith.
So grateful for Scotty, aren't we? I tell you, if we were able to, we would get up and we would dance to brave faith, because that's what we need in today's world. Good morning. How are you? Good, great. Oh, I love that. I love to hear that. Great, great, great. And we should feel great. This is the day the Lord has made, and we are to rejoice in it. It's always so wonderful to see each and every one of you, and to know that we have our people watching online. Thank you for joining us. And so we have a great little service prepared for you today. A lot of love and attention has gone into it. So I want us to just get right to it. Take a moment to gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And become settled in your being. Tapping into that place of you that is divine and always one with God. Within you there is a reservoir of all you need. Amazing wisdom and strength and power and love and faith. Tap into that part of you today. And allow your mind and your heart to become receptive, wide open to all that Spirit wants to reveal today. So grateful for opportunity to come together. Grateful for the love that we have for one another. Grateful for this place. Grateful for our health. Just grateful. And so with this amazing attitude of gratitude, with love in our hearts, our minds open and our hearts open and receptive, we enter the moments together, knowing that we have come here by divine appointment. And so therefore, there is something for each and every one of us. So I thank you, God, for the knowing that we are in you, you are in us, eternal oneness. And so it is. Namaste. So join me in saying our affirmation of oneness this morning. There is one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God the good, all-powerful, all-knowing, everywhere present, right here, right now, God. Namaste.
Come into the quiet, come in from the storm, to a place where time stands still, the spirit is reborn. Come into the quiet, take your place among the stars. Come into this place, come as you are.
That time for meditation when we come together and go into our inner space. So I invite you to take a breath, relax, feel the floor beneath your feet, and you can place your hands in your lap or where they're most comfortable. Take another breath. Breathe deep. For the energy in this place is healing. You find you are sitting on a bench in that place called nowhere, reading the ancient scroll you had been given. That being had handed it to you with no words. You take another deep breath and you realize you are reading the divine plan. Not just for you, but for everyone. See the words on the scroll and read them for you. Taking another breath, you decide it's time to move on. And you look up and you see the mist has cleared. There are woods and the sound of a stream. The water, it sounds slow and lazy to your ears. Looking up, see the sky is clear and a bright blue. You also see the path runs straight most of the way, with a few hills to climb. But you know within you, you can climb them. You turn to take a last look at the gate of memories before setting out. Reflecting on on your life and those memories, you ask, did I fulfill God's purpose for me? Keeping that thought in mind, you begin to walk through the woods. And as you do, you begin to understand that spirit, divine source, God, had been present then. But you had not listened to the messages. And understanding that now is the time for you to be receptive, to become aware that divine order is present in everything you do, think, and say. To remember that words can hurt, even when well-meaning. You are remembering, looking back at the tears, the pain, and the fear that had been inflicted. You take a breath again, remembering it all. You see, there is a small bridge ahead, crossing over that lazy stream. You stop for a while and listen to the water. It is calming to your soul as you remember the feeling of negativity, hearing the bitter words spoken during this inharmonious time. Taking a deep breath, you say a prayer, a quiet prayer of faith, for peace and for harmony. You know you are supposed to be here. You are aware that you have been guided to this nowhere place for a reason. Shown the gate of memories again, and given the scroll, because you still have a purpose. One that is different than you had planned. Life unfolds in divine order. Taking out the scroll, you unroll it in hopes that you will find there what that purpose is. What guidance is there for you? What you can take with you. But the only words you see are, so I went forth, and finding the hand of God, trod gladly into the night, and he led me toward the hills. and the breaking of day in the lone east. Taking a breath, you think, yes, I have put my hand in God's hand. As you continue to walk the path, affirm that your inner home and your state of mind is in order. That faith and divine order prevails today and every day in your spiritual connection with God, your divine source. And so it is. Namaste.
Faith without borders. Sounds like Doctors Without Borders, right? You've heard of them, right? They say that, it has been said, that without faith, nothing is possible. Nothing. Thank God that we have this spiritual power of faith in abundance within us. And I think that today, in the times that we are living, we need to activate the type of faith that has no borders. And what does that mean exactly? The different levels of faith. There's a kind of blind faith that, you just say, well, que sera, sera. I have faith that everything will work out in the end, and I have no responsibility in what the outcome will be. Or you have the kind of faith that I learned as a young girl, where it would say that if I asked God for something, and I was really, really, really good, then I might get it, or maybe not. It was an iffy kind of faith. And it's a faith that has understanding. That's the kind of faith that is the faith without borders. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit more, because it's the kind of faith that is guided by our illumined mind, a faith that is totally in connection, spiritually aware of divine principles. And it moves with that. I think that's the kind of faith that we have seen exhibited throughout the threads of history by men and women that have raised up in times of great challenge, where they saw that change was inevitable and they needed to be a part of that. And they drew to themselves all that they needed. It's so easy to miss the importance of spirituality in history. It's easy because we think of faith more as privatized. It's just faith for what I want and what I need. And I think that our times are calling us to go beyond the me to the we. And that is really important. Each of us has an opportunity to affect change using our faith without borders at such a time as this. See, I believe that we made an agreement that we would be here and we would allow ourselves to be spirit-led, to be and do whatever is ours to do and be. Emily Cady says that faith is what takes right hold of the substance of the things desired and brings into the world of evidence the things that before were not. So it's like we tap into the invisible realm where we know divine substance exists. It's all around us, everywhere. Faith allows us to tap into that and then begin the process of creation, of bringing into manifestation that which we desire. And we use all our spiritual powers to do that. But faith is number one. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. That's in the book of Hebrews. And that's the one that we're most familiar with. You see, everything that has been, is, or ever will be began with faith, tapping into the God substance. Everything. When I was younger, I went to the World's Fair in New York City, and I was amazed at some of the things that they talked about will be our future. And I had doubts, but I remember one in particular that I was saying, no, that will never happen. They were saying back then that we would be able to have video conferencing. And we'll be able to see each other when we talk to each other, just pretty much like the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons? Pretty much like that. And I said, oh, that's impossible. But there were men and women that had this faith without borders. They went beyond what the world would say it's impossible and attempted the impossible, and they did it. And there is so much more evidence of that everywhere when we talk about space and all those things that we have around us. So if our consciousness is focused, what happens though is that our faith weakens. It becomes surrounded by a border that weakens it. It is sometimes that border of the realm of appearances, where we have more faith in the laws of the common land and here, or more faith in what is happening around us than we actually have in the faith that we know that we possess that has incredible power. And sometimes that border is our doubt and our worries and our fears. And faith without borders moves beyond that, moves above that. It's not focused on the realm of appearance, but rather it realizes, like the eagle, that it can soar above that. It can raise higher in consciousness, where it sees a truth that prevails all things. God is everywhere present. We are God's beloved child, created in God's image and likeness. We tap into the God power that we are, and all things can be possible. That's the kind of faith that sees no lack, and it thinks and it speaks and it acts as if that which it desires to manifest is already here. It's that assurance that is not focused on what's going on there. For I know that within us, I said it earlier, within us there is a reservoir of peace and harmony and joy and all goodness that can come forth. That we can tap into divine substance. How cool is that? No longer do I have to depend on whether or not God will give me what I desire. I have the power. It was given to me. I am co-creator with God. And that's marvelous. It says, Brene Brown, I love her. She's one of my favorite authors. She says that faith is a place of mystery where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of the fear of uncertainty. That is so true. That is the type of faith without borders. There's a story that I think I'm counting here. There's a story that I read about. There was a village where it had not rained for a very long time. And the villagers were concerned. Their crops and their livelihood depended on the rain. So they decided, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a prayer meeting. All the villagers will meet at this time, and we will pray for rain. And when the day of the prayer gathering came, all the villagers were there, where there was only one little boy that came with an umbrella. That's faith. He believed it. He lived it. He prepared for the coming of it. That's a faith without borders. Recently, I was listening to a song that my granddaughter told me, Granny, kind of listen to this song. I really kind of love it, and maybe one day I'm going to dance to it. I said, oh, yeah, that would be great. And the song it's called Spirit Lead Me. And I won't do it justice if I sing it, so I'll give you just the words. It says that Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you will call me. And it's so easy to say that, right? But it's not that easy to do, because to do it, you would need a faith without borders. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Take me deeper than my feet can ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior, meaning the presence of the awareness that God is here right now, everywhere, every time, where I am. So it takes faith, and it also takes courage to go to where Spirit is leading us, because it requires us to expand, for our true selves to really be that which is guiding us, to stop being little and expand. And it says, when I remember when I've had so many incidences where I've had to, and I'm sure you have too, where I've had to expand, where I've had to go where Spirit lead me. Because sometimes the desire is put there by the very Spirit of God. The desire there to move you, nudge you. And a lot of times we ignore it or deny it or put all kinds of parameters around it. I know for years I had known that somehow I would have a spiritual calling. I knew it. I just knew it, and I resisted it. I decided I would be an LUT instead, which is a spiritual calling. That is a very beautiful spiritual calling. And I knew that that's what I would do. And it wasn't until one day, just 1 week before I would get my license as a Unity teacher, that I got a nudge, a strong nudge. And I didn't know what it was. I was restless. And it wasn't until I said yes, yes, yes to Spirit. There's a song we used to sing, I say yes, Lord, yes, to your will and to your way. I say yes, Lord, yes. I will trust and I will obey. And so I found myself there, trusting, moving with it. And the path before me to say yes to becoming a Unity minister was not easy. I had the walk was dimly lit, and it was shrouded with all kinds of uncertainties. Questions I had about myself. How would I manage this? Am I too old? Can I really learn and retain? All those questions, all those limitations that we put on ourselves, we're not realizing that we are limitless. Once we know that we are being Spirit-led, that there is nothing we cannot do. And so that desire, Emily Katie says that the desire in the heart is always God tapping at the door of your unconsciousness with his infinite supply. A supply that is forever useless unless there be a demand for it. And so I tapped into that understanding with understanding faith that I could do this. I could go for it because within me I had everything that I would need, and I would draw to me all that I would need. So what I needed did show up. And my confidence in spiritual truth grew, and my faith became strong, because faith is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And I was learning not to become fixed on the realm of appearances that were telling me I couldn't do this, but to put my focus on God, my source. There's a story that most of you are probably familiar with about Jesus walking on the water. Remember that story? And Peter walking on the water? So it happens that, Jesus had just finished feeding the multitudes, and normally when he would do ministry, he would go away just to reconnect with Source, to rest, something that I'm learning very much to do. So he goes away and he tells the disciples, I want you to go ahead and get in the boat and wait for me there. But during the night, a great storm erupted, and the wind was furious, and the waves were tossing that little boat, and they went out into sea, and they were asleep. And when they felt themselves being tossed all about, they woke up, and they were frightened. And they see from the distance Jesus walking to them. At first, they thought it was a ghost. Can you imagine? They thought it was a ghost, and they were even more afraid. And Jesus said to them, "Don't be afraid. It is I. Do not be afraid." And when Peter realized that it was Jesus, he said, "I want to go. Call me to come to you." And Jesus called Peter, who represents faith, to come. And as long as Peter had his focus on Jesus, he was able to take a few steps. But the moment that he began to focus on the wind and on the waves, he began to sink. There's a metaphysical interpretation to the story. It's more than just the literal. Jesus represents spiritual awareness. And the boat is consciousness. And that sea is life. And sometimes the sea of life is very calm. And our thoughts are peaceful thoughts of gratitude and love. But sometimes the sea becomes turbulent. The challenges of life take us out of our space where we are feeling connected. And we begin to fear. That's what happened with Peter. He began to fear, and he began to fall into the water, which sometimes happens to us. We fall into a place of despair and hopelessness and worry and doubt and anxiety. We've taken our eyes off from the awareness that everything has been given to us. Everything. So think about a time when that has happened to you. And you kind of have been awake enough to realize that it's happening, and then you bring yourself back. At first, the courage and his faith is strong. Like in many of us, whenever we endeavor something new, our courage and our faith is so strong. But when things don't go as we have hoped for, when the challenges grow very strong, then we begin to build the borders around the faith again. And the faith weakens. But Peter did not drown. He cried out to Jesus. He said, "Lord, save me." And sometimes we do that. We reconnect when we realize that we have put all these borders around us, that we are sinking in the fear that the world has generated within us. We call out to the great I am. Spirit, lead me. Spirit, show me. Spirit, help me. And sure enough, that's what happens. We become once again reconnected. And we know who we are, and we know how to move forward. The clarity comes in. The understanding comes in. The courage once again arises. And we move right there. Not fighting it, not resisting it, but knowing that we can get through it. So when I think about this story, I think about Peter's faith was without borders when he first started. And then eventually, he allowed the borders to come back up again. And he sank. But he was saved. And what I remember most about this story is that if Peter was able to walk above the waters, that means if Peter was able to overcome the things of this realm, if Peter was able to overcome the fear and the anxiety and the worry, guess what? We can too. We can too. Because we're awake enough to recognize the thought patterns that are in our minds that are holding us back. And we could work to release them. Our world is filled, I don't need to tell you this, it's filled with fear, negativity, and unexpected conditions. Whoever thought of COVID ever coming to us? It's totally unexpected. It has changed our lives forever. It will change how we go forward forever. It will never be the same as it was. It doesn't mean it cannot be better. And many feel like the world is kind of threatening. It's full of confusion and division. And through the noise of the world, Spirit is calling. Spirit is calling us to walk above the turbulence. Walk above it with courage and with a faith that has no borders. Move towards the new vision of the world that Spirit wants to birth. And we are the only ones that will do it. For we are the face of God, the hands of God, allness of God. A vision where the night, the darkness of the intellectual consciousness, because that's what it is, we're walking through the night because we have created from the consciousness of fear. But that can go away, and the light of a new morning, an illumined consciousness, can help us birth a new world. And you say to yourself, hey, what you mean? Well, Luz, I'm just a little me. I can't birth the new world. Oh, yes, you can. You can start right where you are in your little home, in your little place. You can make a difference. And if we all did that, imagine what unity of citrus can become and what we can bring out into the world. A rabbi once asked his disciples, how do you know when the night is given away and the morning is coming? And one of the followers stood up and said, teacher, I know. You'll know when the night is fading away and the morning is coming, and when you can see the animal and recognize that it was a sheep or a dog. And the rabbi said, no, that's not it. And then the rabbi called another one and said, well, you'll know, and that one said, well, you'll know when the dawn is coming, when you can clearly see that the tree up ahead is a fig tree or an olive tree. And the rabbi said, no. He said, you will know that the night has passed when you can look at any man and any woman and discern that you are looking at your brother and at your sister. And until you can see with that clarity, the night will always be with us. So I feel like the night has been with us for a very long time. And our boat of life, for many of us, has been in troubled seas. And it's time for the morning to break. It wants to break. And it will take a faith without borders that rises above, that sees what is possible and moves in that direction. It will think and it will speak and it will act as if it's here. A time for us to pull out our courage and know that we can move it as we are, expand ourselves, because Spirit is calling. And no matter who you are, no matter what religion you profess or what political affiliation we have in the world, what gender, what race, what sexual preferences we have, we are always one. We are one beloved child of God. So isn't it time that we try to really see each other as that and break down the walls of division? Isn't it time that we tear down the beliefs that tend to separate us? You don't think like me, then I don't want to associate with you. That's crazy. We are one. It's time to end the suffering, or at least move in that direction. And like I said earlier, to move from the me, because we're so focused on the me, what I want, and move into the we, what is good for the collective. It's only when we will find the courage to move with faith, that strong faith that has no limitations, that we will discover our innate capacity to connect on behalf of our shared future. And when we do, we will know that the night has passed and the new day has dawned. It's almost there. So this week, I'm going to challenge you to rise above the turbulence. Do whatever you can to not let it disturb you. And begin to envision the world that you desire. What would that look like for you? What would that be like? Write about it, paint about it, draw about it, sing about it, dance about it, whatever. Begin to live as if it's already here. And then let the faith be the bridge that will move us into the light of a new dawn. Try that this week. Begin to vision it. Begin to move with it. And be as if it was already here. That's faith without borders. Namaste.
Rivers to cross. But what if there's no lifeline and you're sinking or you're lost? Just believe in your direction and let your heart explore. 'Cause you can't reach new horizons standing on the shore. And there are mountains we need to climb, but the mountains standing in our way are only in our mind. And the risk of going nowhere is the greatest risk of all. So just listen to the voice that says, I'll catch you if you fall. On the other side of doubt is faith. On the other side of pain lies strength. The journey may seem endless when you know the road is rough. But on the other side of fear is love. In my lifetime, I put my dreams aside. The tides of change felt dangerous. The mountains seemed so high. But my dreams were slowly fading as time went quickly by. So I took a breath with every step, never knowing that I'd find. On the other side of doubt is faith. On the other side of pain lies strength. The journey may seem endless when you know the road is rough. On the other side of fear is love. On the other side of doubt is faith. On the other side of pain lies strength. The journey may seem endless when you know the road is rough, but on the other side of fear is love. On the other side of fear is love.
It's that time in our service now to give of our gifts, our tithes, and our love offerings. We are so grateful to all of you who are with us today. Grateful for your giving, for sending in your checks, for contributing online. Your faithful support makes it possible for us to continue to come to you live and makes it possible to do the work we've been called for. We thank you for your gifts. Please take your gifts in your hands and affirm your offering blessing with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send forth this gift with my blessings and my love. Mother, Father, God, we thank you for this offering. We know it is given in love and received in love, and that it will move through this ministry with the energy of divine love out into the world as good. Each gift is blessed, heaped up, pressed down, and overflowing. For that is the Lord. And so it is. Thank you, God. Amen. Thank you for being with us today. We hope that you have been uplifted and energized, and that you will go through your week feeling God's love in every place that you go. Will you affirm the prayer of protection with me? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Reverend Luz would like to say a few words with you now.
Thank you, Mary. So just a couple of announcements. Please stay in your seats. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for the Thanksgiving bags. They're growing and more to come, and I think we're really close to our goal. So thank you very, very much. They will be distributed this coming Saturday on the 21st. So if you know of anyone who can use supplies, or please have them come by. This is also for our church community. Come by, pick up a bag as well. So that's one announcement that I want to make. And the second announcement that I want to make is that we are now looking for board candidates. It's that time of the year. You'll be receiving a special edition of the Weekly Wake Up tomorrow, explaining a little bit more. But if you are feeling tugged, leading to serve on the board, then go to the website. On the front page of the website, there's a button that says for board service. Click on that, and all the information that you need will be there. And also, once you go through, if there's something that you feel like, I really want to explore this a little bit more, please call Arvid Baumgartner. His information is on the website. Is that correct, Arvid? It's on the website. He is the nominating committee chairperson. So we'll funnel everything through Arvid, and Arvid and I work really closely together anyway. So look at it. Call Arvid if you have any questions or you're interested in any way. the thing I want you to be mindful is that the window is for 1 week, so we will need to have your responses by Friday because we're moving into the Thanksgiving weekend, and this lady is going to take some time off just before then. So please help me to be able to do that. Take time off by submitting your answers by the end of the week, okay? So with all that said, I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you. If you need to see me, I'll sneak out a little later and I'll be by the portico and I'll be there with you. But in the meantime, have a blessed and wonderful week and wait until the ushers dismiss you. I promise you they're going to do it today. And you have some music for us, Sharon? Great, thank you. Have a blessed week.
Coming together to celebrate life, shining like stars in a brilliant night sky, here for each other in joy and in pain. Grateful for this family, spiritual community. The love we share is sunshine after rain. All is well when we are together, greater, stronger, all is well. When we're together, it feels like home. Kindred spirits never alone. Let's join hands and sing our song. Sing our music is the food of love. At this table is more than